When I think about my time at UConn, I think of the word family. The next chapter is going to look, more of a national presence and being helpful through this book.
We want to make the world in any way that we can better for everybody.
Maya, thank you so much for being and talking to me today and being with us. You have such an incredible story. We are so proud to be part of your journey during your time at UConn. So we are proud to call you Husky. Many know you as a public figure. They know you as a basketball player. They know that you worked to free somebody who was wrongly imprisoned. But tell us who Maya Moore Irons is really, who you are, how you see yourself.
Yeah, man, I am definitely a complex, multi-layered person. But the first thing I think people who know me would say is I'm goofy, I'm silly, I'm fun. I love to have a good time and laugh and just be authentic and relaxed. But I'm a hard worker. I love music. I love being creative with music. I love cooking a fun meal for my family. I love being at home. I'm a homebody. But I also love a good vacation. So something beautiful outside. And I love to learn. So those are a few things about me that some people might know, some people might not.
Beautiful, very authentic and unique person. So about your basketball accomplishment, there are so many to be proud of. 4 WNBA titles, 2 NCAA championships, 2 Olympic gold medals. What stands out most for you and why?
It's hard to say what most stands out. I've just had so many awesome championship teams and teammates and experiences, but there's something sweet about the first. So again, I don't know if I can say the sweetest moment, but the first time the Huskies, we were in St. Louis, Renee Montgomery was a senior at the Final Four. Tina Charles had a breakout Final Four, and we won the national championship undefeated and started the first season of the streak. And so that was super sweet having it in Missouri where I was born. And then the first time we won a WNBA title was in 2013 for the Lynx. Super sweet. My teammate Simone Augustus got finals MVP, and coach got a chance to coach Simone at the Olympics. So I know he loved seeing that too. And then my first Olympic gold medal in London was super sweet. I was the young buck on the team, so I was just taking pictures and looking around at everything the whole time, but those were all really sweet.
So you became the household name when you started to play for UConn. So what was special about your time in Stores, and are you proud to call yourself Husky?
When I think about my time at UConn, I think of the word family, really. It was such a intimate, close-knit group. We lived together, we played together, we worked together, and we just formed really tight bonds. The coaching staff invested so much in us. They really taught us how to be leaders, how to be teammates, how to be professionals. By the time we graduated, we knew how to be professionals at the next level.
You mentioned coaches, so what is your best Gino story?
My best Gino story? Goodness, hard to choose one. I don't know if I have a best Gino story, but I have a Gino complaint because he was really, really hard on us in those years. And a lot of the players, have the reputation, coach is really hard on us. And then he started having grandchildren. And so, I graduate, he's becoming a grandfather multiple times, and then he gets a little softer, he's not as hard. And I'm just like, what? Why didn't you have grandkids while I was in school? But they were just starting to pop out when I was in school, but it's fun to watch him grow into a grandfather, him and Mrs. A, watch them become grandparents. And I'm sure they're older now, and I haven't seen them in many years, but those were the babies coming up.
Athletics teaches people more than just scoring and playing a game and physical fitness and being a champion. So what is the best life lesson that the game of basketball taught you?
Ooh. I think one of the biggest lessons basketball has taught me is the results are not as important as how you feel when your season is over. Like if you get to the end of your season and you know your team respected each other, they did everything that they could, and you came up short, you can go to bed at night and just feel like you left it all out there. But if you don't feel like you played your best or prepared your best or connected with your team, you can win a game and it doesn't feel as good, because that connection you have with your teammates is really what makes the game worth playing.
Toward the end of your WNBA career, you started to take public position on social justice issues, like in 2016 when you and others and Links advocated for Black Lives Matter. What was about that time? What made you feel that's the right time for you to, as a public figure, to come on the stage and talk about social justice and take action?
Mm-hmm. Well, looking back at the summer of 2016, it was a hard summer because there was a lot of violence. There was unexpected deaths. And because of where we're at with technology and the way our community works, we were able to see it and hear about it more publicly than it being more hidden, like in the past. And so I remember our coaching staff and the captains coming together on the Minnesota Lynx and just being honest about the fact that we were heartbroken for the Black lives, and also the police officer who was injured in Texas at that time. And so we decided, our coaches really encouraged us, if you guys want to do something, be people in this moment. And so I'm the youngest captain on the team, and so I'm really just looking at and leaning on the leadership. But then in that process, I started to develop my own voice in that space, knowing that I had a relationship with Jonathan. I had my own story of Black Lives Mattering through Jonathan. And so I really put some thought into it. I got courage from that. And then I decided to speak even more publicly about Jonathan's life after we stood together as a team that summer in 2016.
You left the WNBA in 2019, and you are just announcing your official retirement from professional play. So what's the next? And will you miss the basketball?
The next chapter is going to look very similar to what I've been doing these last 4 years, of just being rooted in my community at home, really just developing deep relationships with my community, while at the same time trying to have more of a national presence and being helpful through Win with Justice, which is my husband and my nonprofit centered around prosecutorial reform, which is connected more widely to the mass incarceration problem that we have in this country, and trying to bring more restorative justice to the culture of our courtrooms and prosecutors' offices. So we will try to continue to help educate and empower and storytell in that space, while also running around after our new little baby boy and just continuing to love on our family and try to heal. I think a big part of our story moving forward has to do with healing from what we've been through for the last 15 plus years for Jonathan and I, and 20 something plus years for Jonathan's life.
Tell me something and what you are comfortable to share with us about the Win with Justice campaign. And is it something that everyday people can get involved with?
Mm-hmm. Great question. Win with Justice it's layered as well. One aspect of Win with Justice was to storytell about Jonathan's plight for his fight. But now that he's free, we are going to try to tell more stories to give hope to people. And so people can go there if they're looking for some more stories of hope. But they can also go there to get educated. Anybody can go to Win with Justice and learn more about what a prosecutor is, the importance of prosecutors, and how to pay attention to prosecutors when they vote, because prosecutors influence justice in their communities more than we realize. And so becoming a more informed voter as a citizen, to know who's representing us in justice, and also being able to equip people with information of how to vote and who their local representatives are. So that's all in the works and is happening, and we're excited to continue to roll out new tools for people to learn. And there's a toolkit tab on the website that people can click on to really give them some more tangible help.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I constantly hear people saying, I want to make a difference, I want to participate, I want to make a change, but they don't know how. So you are now, I'm hearing for first time, think how you vote, and that's really something that we have to pay attention, because that's going to influence so many lives. I think it's a good time to bring in your husband, Jonathan Iron. So I would like to talk to both of you about your story, newly released book, about your life as a parent and JG. So
Come here, Mr. Irons. Come on in. You can scoot closer. Come on, closer.
Yes, ma'am.
I know.
Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us. I want to be serious for a moment and ask, do you ever play against each other on the basketball court, and who wins? Or is she a half player, or what's going on there?
So, we were both in a not in our best shape day.
That's a very nice way to say it.
We went out and we had fun, and I think we played a couple of games. I think she won a series and I won a series, but she killed me with a jump shot. I can't compete. I had to turn around, back her down, like ugh.
He has an advantage in the paint.
Yeah.
But I stayed on the outside,
And she,
my jump shot has not retired.
yeah.
But
I fouled her a couple of times, hit her elbow, like oops. I didn't foul you, nobody called it.
So, Jonathan, I was knowing that I'm meeting you today, so I was thinking maybe he's not the best basketball player, but I brought a Jonathan pin, and I would like to present to you. And Maya can pin you when she feels, but...
you know what?
Man,
Jonathan,
man.
I didn't even realize the connection of the husky dog.
Wow. That's crazy.
His name is Jonathan.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Stop it.
See,
Yeah.
it was meant to be.
Wow.
I did not connect
Yeah,
that.
what you want to put aside? You want to put it wherever you want to put it. Where you want to put it
I'm
at?
gonna put it right here. Oh,
I'll just
hush. I didn't poke you. That is so funny. Maybe you can be the mascot.
Yeah.
Oh, I can bring it because I'm a dog trainer. I have a dog training business
You see.
called Dogs We Trust,
That's
LLC. So I could probably bring a husky one day.
Yeah, we bring our Jonathan to all games.
He can train Jonathan the husky.
Yeah.
Yes.
So next time,
If he's having any issues.
plan to come to stores, and Jonathan is going to meet Jonathan.
Thank you.
Jonathan, sit.
So, Jonathan, you met Maya before she became a basketball legend. So, what did draw you to her?
Well, prison is a place where you're forgotten and invisible, and like your life really doesn't matter. And I had been there long enough to accept that reality, and I was used to people coming in judging me. She came into a prison where there was 12-foot barbed wire, and I thought she was going to judge me and look down on me and be afraid of me. But when she came in, she wasn't. She was so down to earth. She looked me in my eye, and she was so kind to me, and like she was fun. Like we played games. She still hasn't played me again, but she beat me in a game of checkers, and I'm still a little resentful about that. She said she's not gonna let me get a win back. But we just hung out. We were just cool, man. She's just a fun person. Yeah.
Beautiful. Maya? And what drew you to Jonathan?
Yeah, I think you have expectations, like Jonathan was talking about. We all do this in new experiences. You try to think about, what is this going to be like? And I didn't think that he would be so full of life when I met him and spent time with him for the first time. He was alive and he was vibrant and he was personable and interested in my life as well. And I was just very inspired by someone who was literally surrounded by violence and hardship could be alive. And so I was just really interested to get to know such a person that has so much perseverance in life despite the circumstances. So that's how it started.
It's hard, I guess, the whole journey, but fighting to make a change in the criminal justice system is close to your heart. And I was listening about your grand uncle or great grand uncle, who inspired you to go there and meet Jonathan. And you and your family worked so hard to overturn Jonathan's wrongful conviction and seek release from prison. And how are you continuing that mission? Now you have Jonathan free, now it's two of you, it's not only you and your family. What is the next?
What are some of the things that we're going to focus on from your perspective?
Well, I think we want to continue to try to speak into the criminal justice reform space, probably in a consultant role, maybe other roles as necessary. Inspiring people to vote, and just having people have a conversation. We want people to have a conversation just about things that need to be changed in our society, and maybe even people will be inspired by this story to think about people that are in a lesser situation, to see them as people. I think family is an important role that we want to continue to focus on, and just enjoy our family and our new son, and if the Lord blesses us with more children, to continue to focus on them, and just kind of be there for each other, and just enjoy the time that we have together.
Let's talk a little about your new book, Love and Justice. I love the title. I love the picture of two of you. You are.
She's fine, ain't she?
So tell me about the process. How did you decide to write the book?
Well, we were going through this hard journey, and once we got to a place where Jonathan was home and we kind of got settled and got our feet under us, we were thinking about the fact, like, this story is so profound and so grand, it needs to be told. It's a hard story, but it's a hopeful story. And so we had to kind of wrestle with, like, when do we do it? How do we do it? We don't necessarily want to have to go into those dark places again, but it also would be healing and helpful, I think, to shine a light on those dark places so that things like this don't continue to happen. So I know Jonathan and I have talked about that, of even though it's painful to go back to those places, it's even more painful to keep it hidden and not to let the light of this book be something that is fuel for change, something inspiring for change. And one of the main heartbeats of the book is be a better neighbor. Like, get to know someone that doesn't look exactly like you or isn't from the same place as you, and watch the world change. So.
I would say book of love, justice, hope, and optimism. So it's all about you. You alternate the chapters. So Maya, you tell your story, your life. Jonathan, you'll tell your story and your life. What was the process? What was learning about each other that you might not know when writing the chapters?
I think for me, man, and just seeing how hard she worked to get to where she was. It wasn't just something that just fell into her lap. Like, she worked hard from a small child up to an adult to where she is today. That's something that you just can't overlook, and it needs to be respected, and hopefully people will see that and be encouraged by it and continue to follow fashion. But it also, not just be given to just a game, but be a person and care about your community, and basically be a good steward of your influence in your platform, which she has. Like, there are not too many people that are of her status that are like that. She could have just turned a blind eye and continued to just win, because she would have done that, you know, but she didn't.
So did the book process of writing the book elevate some of the pain and anger, and in particular for you, Jonathan, of wrongful conviction and imprisonment? You know, like, what were the emotions, and how emotional was for you to tell your story?
Oh. I won't say it alleviated like the pain, because I mean, just 23 and a half years just gone. I used to play ball. She didn't get to see any of that. Like, I played sports. I worked out. I was an athlete. My grandmother passed away while I was inside, and they didn't even tell me. I couldn't even go to her funeral. I had dealt with the grief of thinking I'd never have a child, and just all of the things that I went through in prison. It helped me see it all, but not run from it, because it's there, and you just can't ignore pain and act like it doesn't exist. You have to sit in it and think through it and process it, and hopefully have support that will help you walk through it. Like, I'm still going to counseling over that. Because if I had not, like, there's a chance that like I would be in a far worse position mentally and emotionally had I not wrote this book. I mean, it's been cathartic, but like, it does not take away the sting of what happened.
It's hard to read your book and not to believe in miracles, you know, like, and hope. You know, the last thing that we should ever give away is a hope. And now you are newlyweds, you are parents, you know, it's a beautiful chapter of your life together. How you manage it all? Now, everything, you know, that you are together, that you achieved your dream of being together, that you have JJ, you know, so how it is now is it real? Are you still pinching yourself and trying to say, we cannot believe this, or?
Well, like, we have a team of, you know, we have our family. We have a nice piece of land, and we have our godparents there. We have Maya's mom there, and like, we spend a lot of time together and just enjoying life. Now that JJ's a new addition, it's a really sweet time, you know, just to bond and hang out and be good. But like, we work, we put our work in, like, every day. Like, we're running the household, making sure everything's good, and just being present. Like, being present and being a part of a community is not an easy thing. It takes effort, and we practice that every day.
So, what did parenthood mean to you, to Jonathan? You said, I was in prison. I never thought I will be married. I will never be a father. I will miss all of those, you know, life experiences that other people have who are not in jail. So how is that now for you?
It's life. It's I get to help shepherd another soul into this world, and it's not just in it. It's from me, from my loins. It's a precious gift, and it gives me joy every day to just think about them. I could be walking down the street or doing work on the land, or driving down the street, and I'll think about something JJ did, and I'll just start smiling and laughing. Like, I looked up one day, I'm in the mirror, I'm smiling, I'm like, that's right, that's JJ.
Would you like, now that you are parents, to say that the purpose of your life, you know, going forward, moving forward, is to make the world a better place for JJ?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a natural thought. When you become a parent, your perspective and the things that take up the space in your mind and your heart are just so much connected to this little human that you want to protect, you want to nurture, you want to prepare. And what better way to do that than to invest in the world around him? And so we want to invest in him, but we also want to invest in the world around him. And for all the little babies coming up, once you have a baby, then you're aware of everyone else's babies, and you're like, oh, these precious kids, and we want to just create a better place for them and teach them how to do that as well.
Yeah, it's like JJ is he has made it personal for us, but like we want to make the world in any way that we can better for everybody. Because like everybody has a purpose, everybody is valuable, everybody has life, like everybody is important. You know, that's why we shared our story with the world. Mm-hmm.
Your publisher says that readers of your book will be so inspired, and they're going to think about purpose in life.
Yeah.
You know, that you live and how you live. What is the purpose in your life? So how will you say what is the purpose in your life, in your own words, both of you?
Yeah. Again, relationships. Something really inspiring that I read recently. I left a reference to this resource in the notes in the back of this book, but they described peace. And in our faith, we look to the Bible, and in the Old Testament, and in the New Testament, you see this word shalom, and it's peace. But in our Western lens, we kind of have this, I think, shallow understanding of peace. Mm-hmm. But this resource was teaching me, like, no, back in those days, in that culture, the way God was showing peace and explaining peace of how He's created it is it's very relational. So peace with Him, peace with each other, peace with the ground, with nature, where we all are connecting and relating to each other in sync. Kind of like when you're playing a game, when you watch a good Husky game, or when everybody's in sync and playing together, playing their role, not trying to steal the shine, looking out for each other, listening to coach guiding, like it feels like shalom. And that's just an example. But I've just been realizing lately that shalom, that peace, that am I in right relationship with my people, with God, with the ground that I'm on? Like, am I taking care of this land? Am I taking care of my people? That's where I'm finding my purpose these days. And so that's, it's just an ongoing process that I just hope to get better and better at.
I think for me, it is to encourage people. Life is not the easiest thing. Being human is not the easy thing, and you cannot stop bad things or misfortune from happening. But you can get back up. If you get knocked down 100 times, you can get up 101. And like, I spent 23 and a half years in there, and I have found encounters with people where they were down and depressed and going through things, and I explained to them my life and my history, and it gives them a different perspective. So like I am hoping that like I will be able to encourage people for the rest of my life with my story and the things that I do and how I live my life.
It's so amazing, and thank you so much for talking with me. And you are two inspirational people. Maya, you are brave. I see your wisdom. I see your spirituality. I see your good heart. I see your community and love for people and for family. And for Jonathan. Jonathan, you are such a brave man. And your new chapter of your life is so beautiful. And going forward, you are just going to reach new highs. So thank you and shalom.
Yes.
Shalom. Amen.
Thank you.